Hello everyone, good morning and welcome to the class. Can you all see the screen and hear me? Am I audible? Yeah, thank you, Saurav, for confirming. So let's get started. In the last class, we were working on Jenkins, right? Let me start Jenkins. Let's get the public IP of the instance and access our Jenkins port 8080. Hi, JP, thank you. Hope you all have completed your hands-on during the off time. Page load is taking time. Am I the correct IP? Yeah. Good to see many people completing their hands-on. My launch and in the last class, we were talking about the security strategies, right? Like the role-based strategy, the matrix-based strategy and project-based strategy. And today we have to get started with role-based access control, RBAC strategy. Am I correct? That's where we are. So we have created some sample jobs and we have also used the two strategies like matrix-based and project-based. Today we'll proceed with the RBAC strategy. So let's begin. Let's go to security. And we need to see the RBAC strategy in the drop down. Page load is taking time. Let me check. Let me switch to the other network. Okay, right. Let's go to manage Jenkins and we'll see the third authentication strategy, RBAC. So here, if you see in the drop down, we have only matrix based and project based, right? We don't see the RBAC one, role based access control strategy. To see this, we will be installing a plugin. Any feature, if you need to enhance the features of Jenkins or to extend anything, you need a Jenkins, right? So, I mean, you need a plugin. So let us install a plugin. Like we discussed, plugins will enhance and extend the functionality of Jenkins. So let's install this. Let's go to plugins. Here under manage Jenkins, you can also see plugins, add, remove, disable, or enable that plugins that extend the functionality of Jenkins. Plugins will extend the functionality of Jenkins. So let's go to Jenkins. Let's go to that plugins part. So these are the updates. Like if there is any, like I told you, plugins are like extensions, right? Or some scripts or programs. So here are some updates for the install plugins. If you want to see all the plugins available, go to available plugins tab. Here we can see all the hundreds of plugins available for Jenkins. You don't need to memorize or remember all of that. But you can search for any plugin here and see the documentation of it to understand what it is. So here, see, these are all the available plugins. So you may search, let's say I want to run some Selenium test cases. You have a plugin for Selenium. So if you search, if you hit with Selenium, you can see so many plugins. So you can go to that README of the plugin page and understand what that plugin is about. See here, on master Selenium Grid Hub is supported on port 444. Like it will explain what this plugin will do, right? That's how you can understand those plugins. So now I want to install some plugins for role-based role-based statistics. So if you search with the role, you should be seeing here. This is the one, role-based authorization strategy. enables user authorization using a role-based strategy. Roles can be defined globally or for particular jobs or nodes. So let us install this. Seems Jenkins is slow. Let me check one thing. Anyone facing some issue loading Jenkins? If page is loading slow, this could be another issue. Marilyn Jenkins, there is something called uh, Jenkins dot model dot Jenkins local code. So this is the reason for Jenkins slowness. Here is a page or a tab where you can see, right? So here is the IP address. See, this is the IP address of 192.127. If you see that, that's not the current IP, right? Current IP is something like this, 211.37. So that's the reason Jenkins might be slow. We can do one thing. We can either change it or delete the content of this file. So delete the content of the file and restart Jenkins. That should solve the delay in loading Jenkins pages. Restart Jenkins. If you anyone have faced the same issue, follow these steps. If it's working good, that's fine. For the first time, it will work fine. Next time IP address changes, right? At that point, you may see this issue. If you don't see the issue, that's okay. If that's the issue, you have to remove that content of that file. Jenkins got started. I should not see any delay now. Yeah, I think it's much better now. Do you see that? Problem got resolved. So we are trying to install a plugin, right? Go to available plugins. Role based. As I started installing them, I should be seeing them here. Yeah. See, you can see it is getting installed. Right? As it is installed, we can see that option here. So here you can see matrix based, project based. Now we see this option, right? So choose this option and just save it. Just you have to select the option here. Okay, apply and save it. Save this. So once this is saved, here you should see new option, manage and assign the roles, right? So if you go to manage and handle permissions by creating roles and assigning them to users and groups. So here you can see, you can create the roles and assign the roles to the developers or whoever. So let me just go here and create a role. First, we'll create a role and define the permissions for the role, like employee role or admin role or developer or tester role and so on. So I'm going to add employee role, right? So let me add, admin is already there. Now employee should have overall read permissions, the basic permissions of an employee, let's say, right? That's all are the roles I'm adding now. Those are global roles, means roles across Jenkins dashboard. There is something called item roles. Item means job or a project, right? So those specific jobs can be here. I'm just saving it. I just want to create few more jobs to find refine the permissions. Let's say I have some, my project name is, let's say, FCAPS. FCAPS is my project and it's related to building the code, right? So let's say I would say FCAPS compile job, right? Or else um, dev FCAPS, let's say, and then dev job. Okay. So some freestyle. I'm not doing any content on this job. It's just a sample job. I would like to just save it. That's all. Okay. If you want, you can add any configurations there. Similarly, they have, let's say, test related execute test cases too, right? Okay, that's a job actually. Those are the jobs. Okay, let me just okay, those are the two jobs. Now again, go back to the manage Jenkins, define the roles. I would like to define the job. Let's say FCAPS all dev jobs. Star dot star means anything, right? That's a pattern. You can identify the jobs with some patterns. So any jobs by matching with this should have permissions for this FCAPS dev read role, right? That's a role. Now that role, FCAPS read role for all dev projects. And the pattern is any job starting with FCAPS dev. Any job starting with this should have permissions. See, I added the pattern here. And if you see the matching, you can see only this job matches the pattern. So this particular role should have only read permissions on this job. Only read, right? Then I would like to create read, execute the job. Okay. And this role, same job. But on the same job, role execute should have all permissions like build, cancel, configure, create, delete, discover, move, read, workspace, delete. So is it making sense? Similarly, next role is FCAPS read for test jobs. Sorry, test. So anything starting with this test. Okay. So it's not matching because I did not give here. You can use while characters to match the patterns. If this is incorrectly added, you can edit here. Okay, now you can see it matches test job. So read FCAPS, read test means only read test jobs. Let's say apps read execute. So read execute. Okay, let's say this is read execute, this is read execute test role. Right? So that's for all test jobs. Following everyone, is this much clear? Understood this? This name should be corrected. I'll just correct this. FCAPS execute dev. We are just creating our rules now. This should be the dev job and all permissions for dev project. But it's clear now. F read dev means he should be able to see the dev jobs starting like this. Read test means he should read only test jobs able to view. Execute test means he has all permissions on all FCAPS test jobs. Execute dev means all permissions on FCAPS dev jobs. Is this much clear, everyone? Understood? So these are the roles we create, and now we assign the users to the roles. So go to assign roles. Role is created. Now we'll assign these roles. So here, if you see global roles, add the user, employee, and he has got, it's showing incorrect one. Oh, yes. Now to add this, right? And the user. So you can give permissions to those users. Like they are not admin. So you want user to our employees, then basic read permissions. Can you hear me now? So this is the admin role and user one, user for employees. Now item rules. Let me add again users here. Like admin, and then I have user one, user two. Hello, can you hear me now? Seems there were also network issues. Can you all hear me now? Yeah, thanks for confirming. So we created the roles right now, assigning the users to the roles. Here, if you see user one, user two, global roles, I have given them as employee, the basic read permissions. Then item roles. Now I had added users to this matrix and I can decide which user is what. Let's say admin user will be, right, execute permissions on both the dev and test. User one is a developer, so read dev. User two is a tester, so just read permissions I'm giving. Is this matrix clear for all of you? Just go through it and let me know, please. Is the matrix clear for all? Any questions on the matrix? Yes, JP.
Uh, So these you have given the role name, right? So that is not related to job name, right? Whatever you have given, like fcaps underscores read that is a
These are all role name.
okay.
Yeah, role name we have created it.
We're just giving a unique name role for role name, right?
Yes. So
Okay.
that people identify what it is doing. Just kind of a read dev means they can read only dev jobs.
Okay. Similarly, test means like they will do test.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Got it. Thank you.
So I have also created the roles, assigned the roles to the users. Now let's save this page. They are not saved actually. Let me add the user again. Admin. Okay, admin already there. user 1, user 2, they are employees. Apply means it will save, but we stay on the same page. Admin, user 1, user 2. Admin is execute, dev, read, test, apply and save. Right now, those permissions were saved. Roles were also saved. If you log in as admin, you can see all the execute permissions, like all the permissions on all the jobs. Whereas user 1 will have only read permissions on dev job. User 2 will have read permissions on test job. So let us save this. And here, like we are already an admin, logged as an admin. So I should have all permissions on dev job, right? And all. Similarly, I would have all the permissions on test job as well. You can see here, right? So it was all expected. Let us log out and log in as user. So if you see user 1 here, compile job, we just can read it, but we are not seeing anything. See, actually, we are not seeing console output because there were no bills. Otherwise, you can see that. And only it's a dev compile. We are not seeing test and all. And now just log out, user 2, user 2. See, you can see only test job. Is that making sense? Role will not be linked to the job, Avinash. Role will be linked to the user. We created a role. Okay. Let me put it this way. We created a role. Okay. We defined the permissions of this role, like a read permission or edit permission, build permission, and also on what jobs we have defined it by with a pattern, right? Like FCAPS dev means you should see all FCAPS dev jobs. Right? We created a pattern, a matching pattern to the job name. Then what did we do? We assigned the users to the role. Role is already having certain permissions. So user will inherit those permissions. Understood? This is like a combination of matrix based and project based, which will help in utilizing the roles or the permissions better. Got it, everyone? Any questions? There are hand raises. Please tell me. Surendra and Jake.
Myself, Preethi. Yeah, this is Surendra.
Yeah, please tell me.
Preethi, suppose if you write one particular shell script, for example, take the date, okay? In that particular shell script, there are the three users. One is for the three roles, so dev and test. So is there possibility to take that particular shell script only for the read permissions and write permissions and execution permissions? We can apply.
Yeah, we can refine these roles further.
Yeah.
Hmm. We can refine these roles further. I'm logging back as admin.
Okay.
Manage and assign the roles. Here you can give right only read permissions, only build whatever you want. You can choose create another role. I'm sorry,
Okay.
have back.
Where we can write that particular script and how to access.
Come again, please. Come again.
No, where we can write the shell script. Suppose if you write one shell script and
Why do you need shell script and for what you need it?
my shell script is requirement installing the all the HTTP servers and web servers and application servers.
Okay.
Uh, okay, in that particular shell script, and do we need to access only for the one particular role is for accessing only for the accessing purpose. Another role is for
Roles are
modification.
the Jenkins roles. These roles are the Jenkins roles. You create your shell script. Okay, call your shell script from here, like we are calling our job to. We are writing some script, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just configure, call your script here. Okay, this is how you will
Yeah.
call your script here. Right?
Okay.
Dash sample.sh, whatever.
Okay.
Right? Once you write your script, what permissions this script, who can execute will be decided. What roles you are giving to this job. Like a job 2, you have to write a pattern for matching job 2, assign the roles and permissions. That's all. It's not within the shell script. It's about how you run your job. Here you have to assign. Create a role. Let's say which matches, pattern is which matches job 2. That's all. Okay. And then role is execute a shell. That's the name I'm giving. Now, likewise, I may create multiple. Oh, I did not add it. Role name is execute shell. Pattern is, let's say, job 2. I want to identify this. So first add the role. Now you see job 2 is matching. Now what permissions you want to execute? I want all on this job. Maybe you need another one which needs only, let's say, read the shell. You want to just read this job. Okay, I add it. So read only, he can just monitor this job. Got it now?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Preeti. I got it.
So this is how you can define who will execute this shell script. I mean, who will execute this. So when this you log in as a user too, I mean, you will assign again users to this execute shell, right? First, let me save this. So assign roles, execute shell is created. Where is it? No user here, right? So user
Yeah.
2 should be execute shell. User 1 should read the shell. So user 1 cannot execute this shell script, right? So that's how you can manage. These are Jenkins roles and Jenkins users, not the users or the or groups on the Linux box. On a Linux server, users and groups is different from this roles and Jenkins users. These are application users, application roles. Those are users and groups on the Linux server.
Okay.
Understood?
Thanks, Preeti.
Right. So that's how you have the 3 different authorization strategy. Role-based access control strategy is very widely used than the other two. It's like a combination of the rest. Any more questions from anyone? So if everyone is good with this, I would like to talk about build triggers. Good to go? Right. So let's talk about triggers. Till now, if you see, these jobs are being triggered by a user. Like let's come to the console output. Here you can see started by user admin means manually triggered by some user called admin, right? You can trigger the jobs automatically. There are multiple ways to trigger the jobs automatically. First one is through timer. Second one is poll SCL. Third one is webhook. Fourth one is one job triggered by another job. So these are the different ways you can trigger the jobs, right? These are the different ways you can trigger them. So first, let's look into one by one. First one is timer, right? So I would like to go to job to configure. Here date output is placed into data.txt, right? I'll just remove this one. So now I would like to trigger this every day or every month or once in a week. It depends. There might be some maintenance jobs, cleaning jobs, kind of. So you can add here triggers. Come here, build periodically. If you click this help question mark is a help. It uses cron syntax, which is a Linux feature. And this is how you can write the cron. Cron will have 5 tabs: minutes, hours, day of the month and week. So the valid values are here. You don't need to struggle here. You have something called cron tab generator. So this is where you can play with it. Let's say I just want to run 10 every day. Right? See here. 2025, 4/21, April 21st, 10/10. Right? So that's how you can see it's running always. Next schedule also you can see. Just if you click on next, see 10/10 on 22nd, 10/10 on 23rd, 20, means every day 10/10 it's executing. Let's say I just want to run every day first, right? So see here, 5th month first, 6th month first, 7th month. That's how month, right? And then this part is about, like, let's say you want to just run only on 8th month, right? See, 10/10 on first month of August, on 2025, 26, 27, every year, because star year is every year, right? I mean, sorry, every week. It could be anything. So this is how you can play around it and generate the some syntax, some timer. Let's suppose I want to run every 5 minutes. */5 means it's every 5 minutes, right? Every 5 minutes. So 6:50, 6:55, 7, 7:05, 7:10, and so on, right? That's how you can see this, right? So you can play with it and set some timer. For now, I'm just setting it for every 2 minutes. This is for every 2 minutes, the job will run, because I can't wait for 5 minutes to test it. Every 2 minutes, your job will run. Your job might be compiling job, test job, whatever it is, right? So this will run every 2 minutes. For now, I'm saving it and let me build it. Sorry, I need not build it actually. Let's wait. Let's wait for a while. This is I have built it, so ignore it. Job should execute automatically every 2 minutes. Let's wait and watch.
Pretty one question I have.
Hmm.
So in the real time, well, like for example, we will create a lot of we'll create a lot of automation tasks, right? So for that we will schedule the cron job, right? For example, if I want to delete any files automatically, we will create some cron jobs, right, to run and delete those files. We'll write the scripts and we'll schedule that script to we'll schedule the script on based on cron jobs, right? So similarly here in Jenkins, only for the jobs we need to we are supposed to schedule these cron jobs and will execute, right? So we
Yeah.
cannot do such kind of automation task here, right, in Jenkins. Any possibility like creating job and like if I want to clean up something on the server side, is it possible?
Now it is doing right. See this, you have to write a script which will clean your server. Here I'll write some shell script or Python script that will clean the server or stop EC2 instances, or else this might be an Ansible playbook which will create instances. Your job will do those things. Right here, your script or your Ansible code or your Terraform configurations will do that automation. This is just to set the timer when this job should run.
Okay, so
Rather
directly.
than, rather than you running this manually, let's say I have some shell script which will clean my server. I have to do it every 2 minutes. Rather than you sitting and running that shell script every 2 minutes, you are creating a job and scheduling the timer so that your script will run every 2 minutes.
Okay, so the same task, like I can do it here, right? Like creating a job and giving the shell script and everything, and just scheduling the build. That's it.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, got it.
So see here, fourth build now. Do you notice the difference? Started by timer. It's not started by user, it's started by timer. And it executed 50 seconds ago, 1:18 a.m. That's the server time in UTC. 56 seconds ago. When would be the next bill happen?
Every 2 minutes, right?
Last bill happened 1 minute 9 seconds. Next bill will be in 51 seconds. Right? Next bill will happen in 40 more seconds. So likewise, it just keep on running this job irrespective of what may happen as you have created timer one, right? Only 48 seconds. Okay, so here we are storing that file under TMP, right? Date.txt. So every 2 minutes, date is getting appended. Do you see that? This is on April 21st, 120, right? This much clear. They started my timer, right? Third bill every 2 minutes, 118, 120. Next bill will happen at 122.
Can you click on bill now once, Preethi? Uh,
Bill
console
now
output.
will be
No, no,
manual trigger.
no. Already completed bill. Can you go there and can you click on console output? Yeah. Slash temp. Okay. Where is the directory you just seen in the slash temp directory, right? That file. What
If you
does that?
remember job 2, we created a file under TMP directory data.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So I'm checking this file.
Okay. Yeah. Got it.
118, 120, 122, 124, and so on. Each time it will append date to this file. You see here, 120 to same independent because that's my job. Actually, I may have a better job, but I'm just showing you the concepts. We'll use these triggers. Just got confused.
Preethi, I have one small doubt.
Oh. Yes, please tell
Yeah.
me.
Hello.
Yes, please go on.
Yeah. Preethi, I have, for example, I want one particular server's report for every 5 minutes to generate mail to all of our team members. Okay, in this scenario, can you write in a shell script and then generating the job to all the scenarios, all the versions?
Yeah, you can do it. You can have scripts, you have plugins for email notifications. You can set this timer for those and you can take.
That means we need to write a shell script like what are the things based on the requirement can we write and schedule the job. That's enough and automatically will trigger and generating the report and send to the
Yeah,
group email ID.
yes, correct. Correct. Right, this is about timer thing, right? The another most widely used one is whenever there's a code comment on the GitHub repository, you want to trigger a job, right? Let's say this is the developer's code. So this, let's say this is the repository. Whenever developer make any change, I just want to trigger the job. Of course, whenever developers make any change, it should come pull the code and compile it, or it should pull the code and execute the test case. That makes more sense, right? Correct? So for now, what we'll do, we'll whenever there's a code commit, job should trigger. Okay, your job should be compile job or a test job or a build job, whatever it is. Any repository you can take. I'm taking this repo one. So how do you connect your Jenkins job with this? Take this HTTP URL. Okay, come here. I'm creating a new job. Let's say it's a job 3, freestyle. Okay. So just come to source code. Till now, we did not use source code. Connect and manage your code repository to automatically pull the latest code for your builds. And it's Git repository. So choose this. It will give you this fail to connect error because if Git is not installed on your Jenkins server. Let it be no need of credentials because it's public one. And the branch you want to pull, that's good. And of course, you should add the build step like execute and or a Gradle or Maven, write some Maven commands. That's what you should do. But we did not learn Maven yet, so I'll just create a job till this much. Am I making sense? And for this to disappear, install Git on the Jenkins server. Yum install Git.
Preethi, your voice is not clear and screen is getting lagging some.
Can you hear me now? Is it
Uh,
okay now? I'm network issue actually.
yeah, it's better now.
Right. So I installed Git. So once Git is installed, you should not be seeing this error message. Right? You don't see any error message here. Right? And then if you come to the build steps, now you may write some Maven commands, but we did not learn Maven yet, so I'm not doing anything here. So now what happens whenever you write the repository here, first of all, it will clone the repository, but where it will clone? In the last class, I have shown you, right? There is something called Jenkins workspace, right? Which is var lib Jenkins, right? Here you should see workspace. And here you should see already jobs, folders are created with the same names, right? So when job 3 is executed, it will also create a folder called job 3 and it will clone there. It means that for the first time it will clone, next time onwards it will pull and run those Maven commands. But for now, it will just pull it. Am I making sense? It's a half job now. Are we clear with what this job is doing? This job will just clone the repository. On top of it, you have to add some build steps, but for now, I'm not writing them as we did not learn Maven yet. Are we good? Understood this much? So let me save this job. So this job will execute only when there is any update here. Update here means these are all updates, right? It will compare this remote with the local. Local is this one, right? Inside the workspace, there should be a folder that will be considered as a local. It will compare local with the remote. Remote is this one. So if there is any update, it will run the job. Yes, for us, there is an update, right? So it should, but why, where did you add the trigger? We should also add it. Come to triggers. Poll SCM. Poll SCM also would need a timer. This is timer to poll the repository. Poll means watch the repository, right? Every 2 minutes, it's watching this repository. And job will run if there is any update. Job will not run every 2 minutes, but it will keep polling, watching this repository every 2 minutes. Whenever there's an update on remote, which is not there on local, your job will trigger. And your job is just pulling the code. Which other two jobs are not added, Avinash? These ones, because I did not execute them. Even job 3 is also not created until it is executed. You do not see it. See? because only job 1, job 2 got executed. We did execute them last time. You are seeing those.
Pretty one question. So only currently, see, we have in the Git, sorry, in SCM, in source code management, we Maven was not added. So only the pull job like execution will happen, right? You're saying,
It will just pull the code. That's
okay,
all.
whenever we do changes, that will be
It will
pulled.
just pull
That's
the
it.
code.
So once that is executed, then we can see in this workspace directory the job.
Why do you want to change the workspace directory?
No, no. Once the job gets, if you add Maven commands, and if you had and the build get trigger, if the job got executed, then we can see that job in this workspace, right?
Now itself you can see whenever job is executed means whenever you did build now or this one, not when you add Maven. So now started by an SCM change. See, building in this workspace, right? You see it here. That's what it was showing. Job 3. Now it has cloned everything. If you do hidden files, you can also see .git. It has cloned everything. Job is executed. My job is just pulling the code, but actually real job should be pull the code and compile it or test it using Maven. My job is incomplete, but my job is about just pulling the code. Your folder will created whenever this job is executed. Job is executed now at 1:30 a.m. So folder is created. But it's incomplete job. It's just pulling the code, which doesn't make any sense. After pulling, you should add this uh, Maven commands.
So when we do the changes in a remote repository, always it uh,
Yes.
compares with
This job will poll this remote every 2 minutes. If there is any update here, which is not their local is this one, this is local repository. It will compare this with the remote. If there is any change, it will pull. Otherwise, it will not. It will watch every 2 minutes, but it will not run every 2 minutes. Just
uh,
watch.
so it polls every 2 minutes. Okay.
See 1 minute 35 seconds. Let's wait for 2 minutes. Right? You can see every 2 minutes. Right? Every 2 minutes. You don't see anything here. 2 minutes. But job is not executed because there is no update on remote, which is not there in local here. Clear now? Whereas the other one, job 2, see here, irrespective of anything, 118, 120, 122, 124, 126, 128, 130, 132, next one will be 134. This is the timer one. This is the poll SCM. That is the difference. Got it clear, everyone? When do you see a build on this job 3? When will the next build happen?
So can we do changes in the repo and
Whenever you make a commit here and update, you will see it. You may modify a file or create a new file. It's up to you. I'm creating a file called demo.txt. Commit the changes. This is not there locally, right? Demo.txt is not there in local. This is my local. This path is the local. I don't have this demo.txt. Now job should execute automatically. And also, like earlier it said, it says started by an SCM change. Started by timer, started by an SCM change. These are the different triggers. It's been 3 minutes. So let's wait and watch. Any more questions? Is that clear? Timer and bowl SCM.
so what is the crons you schedule for the job? 2 minutes, right? Every 2 minutes, right? This policy.
Polling every 2 minutes. You may
Okay.
put something like whenever developers may push their code every day 4 p.m. You may schedule it at that time, so it will poll and pull it.
Okay. Yeah.
See, second one is done. Started by an SCM change. Which change also it will tell you. This is the commit ID 0db98. 0db98. Do you see that? That led to the build. It was clearly telling you why it started. And also this is the workspace. And it will do a pull now. Right? So if you just see demo.txt is there. You can see all the comments and all everything. Now, after pulling it, I might have added Maven commands here so that it will pull and compile. But I'll do that after learning Maven. Is it making sense now? I would add also build step so that it will pull the updated code and compile it and so on. This is about the poll SCM. I'm showing you the triggers, right? I'm showing you the sample jobs. We'll use all these concepts and create our real jobs. Got it now? So trigger is timer is first one, first trigger, Polisium, then a webhook, right? Let's look into a webhook now. I'm creating another job for webhook. Please tell one. I'm going to use another repository for webhook. Webhook also does the same. Whenever there's a change in the code, it should trigger. Whenever there's a new code, new commit, it should trigger. But then how different it is, we'll see. Just come here, Git repository. Okay. Repository, public repository, and the branch name is, you should give the branch name you see here. It's main. Let me add main. And then trigger is webhook. Right? So that's all. Then what else you have to do is that's it. The other most important thing is whenever you are adding webhook, you should go to the settings of your GitHub repo. Again, you will see something like webhooks. Add the webhook. For this, you need to have authentication, a two-way authenticator for GitHub to add a webhook, multi-factor authorization. So here you have to add to which Jenkins server you have to inform it. This is the Jenkins server to which it has to inform. And it should be GitHub webhook, right? That's all. And the webhook. That's all you have to do. So I'm showing again, this is the Jenkins URL and should be GitHub webhook. It is because means this is the payload URL. Means whenever there's a commit, GitHub should inform Jenkins. So you can choose here which event you want to notify. I want only push events and the webhook. So here webhook will first ping the server and see whether it can reach or not, and you should see a deliver message. Here also let me save it. See here, last delivery was successful, means it can connect to this one. So here what happens, I have configured a webhook in such a way that any push event to this repository repo2, push event means commits. Any push event should notify and trigger this job. It should trigger this job. It is not like poll HCM. It will not compare this local repo job for with the remote and it will not pull every 2 minutes. Rather, GitHub will inform Jenkins and trigger the job. Once it is triggered, job for folder will be created. So when will it trigger? Will it trigger now because it's empty? Local is empty, so it should compare to this. And will it trigger that way? No, that is with a poll SCM. But this is with whenever there's a commit, then only your job will trigger. Let me add some commit. I'm just editing this file. Just come here. Yeah. Do you see job started? Right? See? And if you just go, it tells you started by git push by Preethi D. Preethi D is my GitHub username, this username. Right? That's how it started. And as it started, because again, it should pull and compile and all. You can add the next steps like compiling and all here. I did not add it. So if you see, it might have created job 4. Yes, it might have cloned everything. Again, if you see hidden files, it's a understood everyone. Is this much clear for all of you?
Yes, Preethi. Yeah.
Right? You got the difference between Polyscium and this webhook, right? Webhook means it will inform Jenkins rather than Jenkins polling the repository. Which one we should use? Which one is better, do you think?
I think webhook is better
Why?
because uh, whenever they do changes, then definitely that will automatically trigger, right? Developer do the changes and trigger. But Polyscium, we need to schedule the cron job, you know, compared to like this Polyscium always every 2 minutes, right?
Actually, we are scheduling this for Polyscium. We don't schedule that for Webhook. The
Yeah.
main advantage is for Polyscium, Jenkins has overhead on polling that GitHub server every 2 minutes. You don't have that overhead with the Webhook. Webhook will reduce the overhead on Jenkins.
Usage of resources, right? This, yeah.
Yes, that's a benefit.
Perfect, yeah.
Can you confirm any real-time scenarios for Polyscium? Like what are the cases we'll go with Polyscium when we have Webhook? In reality, 99% of the times we use webhooks only. We don't use Polyscium. The drawback I have explained, right? But both does the same. Functionality wise, they are same. But the backend, how they work, differ. And Polyscium will have an overhead on Jenkins server, so it shouldn't be the case. So always webhooks are preferred and webhooks are used in reality. 99% of the time. And the use cases are our CI/CD pipelines. Whenever there's a code commit, you remember, right? Integration happens multiple times a day. Developer may update their code multiple times a day. Whenever there's a new code commit release, it will be pulled, built, tested, and then it would be deployed. So how do you know whenever developer make a change? That's what is these triggers do. The first part we were talking about it, whenever users make some changes, it should trigger the build. It should identify and trigger the build. How does it identify? Using these triggers. So we are at the first part of the pipeline, the very first part of triggering it based on some commits. We have to attach it to the test, compile, and so on. We just created sample jobs and have seen the different ways of triggering the jobs. Any more questions? Were the concepts clear? Timer, Polyscium. Okay, there is another question from Ram Prasad. If I'm not using GitHub as my repo, like if I'm using Git or any other repo, how can we implement this webhook? Webhooks are for your remote repositories, right? It could be GitHub or Bitbucket, whatever it is. Your URL looks similar. You have to get your repository and use it. That's all. This could be on GitHub, this could be on Bitbucket or GitLab. This is for remote repository URLs, not local repositories. Because remote repositories are the ones which is shared across the teams and which is used for deployments, not locals. Any more questions, Ram Prasad? And anyone else?
Preethi, one.
If it is private one, yes, you can add the credentials here. Go to the credentials store and add your credentials for GitHub. That's how it will pull that code if it's a private repository. If it's not private, if it's public, no need of credentials. Like in my case.
One question. So
Mhm.
what is a Jenkins file that you have cleared the content in order to run the Jenkins, access Jenkins first? What is that file in the workspace? Sorry,
You have to
in the
go to
Slack
the home
where
directory.
lib
Uh,
Jenkins. Yeah, I'm into that directory. What is the file name that I?
Jenkins.model.
Okay, yeah. Because
Model dot Jenkins location configuration.exe.
I'm also experienced the Jenkins is loading very slow, so that is reason.
Because public IP keep on changing whenever you start it. From the second time onwards, you may face this issue. So clean up this file completely and that should resolve the issue. You don't need the content there.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions on the triggers? So we have seen three triggers, timer, Polyscium, webhook. The fourth one is one job should be triggered by another job. Like, see here, these are individual and independent jobs, right? We can connect them. We can connect in such a way. Job 1 will trigger job 2 will trigger job 3 will trigger job 4. Because job 1 might be a compile job, right? This might be a test job. This might be a package job. And the fourth one might be a deploy job. How do you connect them? Means once compile is triggered, the first job is triggered by full SCM. Compile will trigger test, test will trigger package, package will trigger deploy, and so on. That's how the chain continues. So that's a last type of trigger. We can see that when we start creating our real pipelines, triggering by a job. Tomorrow, most probably, we'll see triggering a job by another job. Today, we have covered 3 types of triggers. Timer 1, poll SCM 1, and then timer, poll SCM, and then the other one is webhook. Were these 3 triggers clear for all? Any questions from anyone in this part? So in the next class, we will be starting with Maven. Like first, we will learn Maven. What is Maven? Why Maven? How do you use it? What's the perspective of DevOps engineers to learn Maven? To what extent we should learn Maven? We'll cover that part. And then we will start creating some Jenkins Maven jobs. First, we'll create the basic individual independent jobs. Later on, we'll connect them, and then we'll proceed with the advanced type of jobs and so on. Any more questions from anyone till then? Okay. Yes, Guru, you can unmute.
Yeah, pretty not with its context, but can I go ahead?
Sorry.
Not with the context of today's session,
Mm-hmm.
but I have different issue. I just
Yeah,
want
tell
to.
me please.
Yeah, actually, I'm not able to establish a connection between my VS Studio Code and my AWS server. Uh,
What is the problem?
it is giving permission deny, but as it was said, right, I have added host and everything, but still I'm not able to establish
Which operating system is it?
Windows.
Windows, you have to set
Okay,
some
I got
Windows.
it. I need to use .ssh key instead of PEM, right? Yeah, now I got it. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I got the issue. I'm trying with PEM, I guess. So that's the issue.
You are trying with?
PEM file.
You have to try
Yesterday.
PEM file only, right?
Yeah, then okay. Yeah, but still I'm not.
Actually, that's with the Windows administration part. Windows administration, adding users and permissions is a bit different and tricky. Keep that on hold, okay? We'll help you out in some time. Um, just post the screenshot and the error, right? We will look in and get back, but don't just like stuck up with that. Keep the things rolling. Try hands-on with others. That's not urgent for now. Okay, we'll resolve it by the time.
Um,
needed.
Pretty one question. So do
Mm.
we need any permissions to edit this file, this Jenkins model configuration file?
If you log in as a root user, you can do it.
Okay. Because I am saying cannot open file for writing.
Are you a root user? Switch to root.
Yeah,
Go
once.
SD admin and try it out.
Yeah, sure. It's working now. Yeah. Thanks, Preethi.
We can cover from here, continue from here in the next class where we'll get started with Maven. Meanwhile, any more other questions from anyone else? You can unmute if I'm seeing some hand raise. You're already, you can unmute. All right, then that's all for today. We'll continue from tomorrow. Good day. See you all tomorrow. Bye, everyone.
Yeah, thank you all.
Any question? Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, bye, everyone. Good day. Thank you all.